The rollout for Utopia, Travis Scott's new album, is seemingly happening right in front of our eyes because we have gotten so much information on this over the past couple of days, and we might have some info on the length of the album being 24 tracks, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and details everything that's been happening in hip-hop, so make sure to do that. So I dropped a video yesterday called The Rollout for Utopia is Beginning, and in that video I went over all the evidence that we've gotten so far about this thing, including all the briefcase pictures that we gotten and the Cactus Jack, Jordans and stuff like that I go over in that video. So if you're interested in all the basics first, make sure to go check out that video and then return to this one. But today we're going to be talking about a rumor, a theory that this thing is going to be 24 tracks in length. So let's take a look at it. So far, one of the main sources of the info that we've gotten has been Mike Dean, legendary producer who's also mixing and mastering Utopia to our knowledge so far. And he's the one that, first hopped on Instagram to share him, picture of him mixing or mastering some sort of, track. And in there, then he said Topia as the caption. Another one of his Instagram posts was him just showing off his hat collection, and Travis commented under that post, "It's time." So it's always been like this, mysterious way that Mike Dean has been teasing this rollout, and Travis has kind of been playing along with it. Maybe to tease the fans that are making the theories first before going out there to announce it to the general public, which, it's working pretty well, so can't blame him. Well, among those other things, Mike Dean also posted this picture right here, which is him, again, mixing, mastering some project, and in the caption for this, he wrote #levels. If you got too many tracks and your song's not big, make bigger sounds. Doesn't take 100 tracks. All the best album in history are on 24 tracks. So in here, I understood some of this wrong in the video yesterday. I refer to this as 24 tracks being 24 songs on the track list, when in actuality, and thanks to everybody pointing this out to me, reaching out to me on Instagram and all that, for correcting me and putting it in the comments, this is referring to the actual technical tracks in this case his DAW that he's working with and where he's mixing, mastering this project. He's referring to having 24 layers of, well, to kind of keep it simple, instrumentation, drums, vocals, whatever. And he's saying that you don't need 100 tracks to make big songs. Just make the sounds on the individual tracks themselves bigger. And he says all the best albums in history are on 24 tracks. So I wanted to make that as a correction for the video yesterday because I misinterpreted what Mike Dean said here. I mean, it's easy to kind of fumble over it if you're not heavily into production. Now you're probably thinking, wait, so if, I misunderstood this, then what does this have to do with 24 tracks being the length of the songs on the album? And you're completely right. This may be completely unrelated to the amount of songs on the track list, but there is something else that has surfaced that maybe sheds a little bit more light on this, because Mike Dean again went on his Instagram. Sometimes he posts like very funny memes of himself and stuff like that, so funny dude. But also he went on Instagram to share this story right here, and this seems to be a repost of another story where somebody was, saying something in French. Now, he tagged Travis Scott and Mike Dean on this one, and as you can see on the top, Mike Dean replied or reposted this story on his own story. And of course, we're not French here, so somebody took to Google Translate to put in this, this little text that they had on the story right there, and when you translate this from French to English, it says Utopia goes all torn. I don't know, maybe the translation is a little bit wrong. Maybe it says it's gonna destroy everything. It's so good. But then it says, there will be 24 songs on the album and finished and mixed at Mike Dean. So likely also a little bit of a translation error, but saying that it's going to be finished and mixed by Mike Dean, which is true. We know that he's finishing and mixing and mastering this project. Well, anyway, this is obviously very interesting because Mike Dean reposted this, meaning that he does see some sort of truth in this. And this one is not referring to, the tracks in the DAW on an individual song. This one is, kind of allegedly referring to the individual songs on the track list. And that kind of makes you rethink how that original post was meant. I still think that he meant like 24 tracks in the DAW and like the technical side of the production, because he did reference like you don't need 100 of them, you just need bigger sounds, and then 24 is enough. So that does make sense in itself, but it's kind of weird that he then also reposted this Instagram story where somebody said that there'll be 24 songs on the track list of Utopia. So that's very interesting. Mike Dean, a very mysterious character right now in the rollout for Utopia. So far, it's all looking like it's going to be 24 songs. That's the closest thing we've gotten to any sort of official confirmation. At least we got it indirectly from Mike Dean. That is at least something, because so far the majority of the rollout of this thing has been through Mike Dean, about him teasing this thing, about him like just bringing it up so that we're talking about it again with that Instagram post that said Topia, and then all of a sudden, those briefcase pictures started appearing and it was like Topia all over. Now, still that theory about Topia being a double album, Utopia and Dystopia, is subject for another video that I'm about to drop in 1 or 2 days, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't yet to always, stay up to date on that and not miss out on that video. That being said though, I don't know how to feel about 24 tracks being on Utopia. It does seem like a lot. A lot of y'all were saying, hey yo, we deserve that after 5 years of no new music. And I get it, but I just want this album to be good in itself. If it had 10 tracks, but the album itself was amazing, I would be way happier than if we got 24 tracks, and it just doesn't feel complete. It feels like there were a lot of fillers in there, so I'm actually happy, if he would have keep it a little bit below 24 tracks, maybe even below 20 tracks. I'm hearing a lot of those 20 plus track albums nowadays, and I don't want Travis to necessarily feed into that as well, and we're just gonna have another 30 track album in there. So I don't know how to feel about this. Let me know what you think about this though. How do y'all feel about this entire situation? Do you think this info is to be trusted because Mike Dean reposted it on his story? Do you think this sheds another light on the original IG post about the 24 tracks in the DAW, maybe in the track list, maybe both? Maybe that's the kind of hint at it. What do you think is the perfect length for an album? All of your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.